Right, we're back in northern Italy today, in the region of Lombardy, and more specifically we're in the province of Valbondione, at the foot of... well, nothing really. Why did we come here again? Just kidding, obviously. There is actually a quite weird and very special event that takes place here, only 5 times a year and for only half an hour at a time. And I have hiked 2 hours uphill, which is why I'm this damp, to come and see it. For you see, what you are looking at is the tallest waterfall in all of Italy. Just not right now. It's complicated. Let me explain. Many years ago, like millions upon millions of years ago, up at the top of this cliff face on the Barberino Basin, a number of small mountain streams formed the natural lake known as Lago Barberino. This large glacial body of water flowed off the side of the cliff and into the Seriana Valley below, forming the river Serio, which runs 124 kilometers to the south before joining the river Adda. The falls that resulted from the flow of water over the cliff face was said to be one of Italy's great sights for centuries. As far back as the 1700s, writer Giovanni Maironi de Ponte described the falls as the place to make up for life's many disappointments. It was, in fact, Italy's tallest waterfall at a remarkable 315 meters in height. In the 1900s, 1910s and 1920s, northern Italy underwent widespread industrialization that saw a monumental build-out of factories and manufacturing facilities across the region, as well as a huge increase of housing for those moving into the area for work. And what did all these things need? That's right, power. Basically, it was decided in 1917 that the top part of the waterfall, just before it rolled off the cliff and into the valley below to form the Serio River, would be dammed off to create Italy's latest hydropower station. The dam, known as the Valmorta Dam, was a fantastic example of civil engineering done right, taking the form of an arch dam and completed quickly and efficiently, with work finishing in 1923. Well done, construction workers. The Valmorta Dam created a small reservoir containing around 130,000 cubic meters of water, powering a power plant nearby. But local engineers felt there was still much more untapped potential up there on the plateau, and so they created a second, much larger gravity dam called the Barberino Dam in 1931, creating Lago di Barberino, the largest artificial lake in the province of Bergamo at 18.5 million cubic meters of water. But by damming off the water up here, the famed Cascate del Serio stopped. And while Lago di Barberino is spectacular, taking on a bizarre blue-green hue due to runoff from the Trobbio Glacier, it's all the way up there. It's not exactly visible to locals or those hiking the lower parts of the valley. So yes, there was genuinely a public backlash against the dam because it had erased the natural beauty of the waterfalls. This would have been a fair concern in its own right. Natural beauty is important. But it was compounded by the fact that the towns of Valbondione, Mola and Fiumenero, as well as the surrounding area, relied on tourism from people coming to visit the falls. So suddenly this went from the place to make up for life's many disappointments to one of life's many disappointments. So in 1969, a bizarre agreement was struck between the then state-owned Italian energy company Enel and the Comune, or basically council, of Valbondione. They agreed that 5 times a year for the foreseeable future, the dam would be opened and the Cascate del Serio would be allowed to flow just for half an hour before being closed again. Not for any practical reason, as I had previously assumed when I first discovered this thing, but just so people could see the waters of the Serio thundering down into the valley again. And that tradition has held to this day, which is why I'm stood here on a random September morning, waiting for the tallest waterfall in the country to suddenly manifest from the top of this currently bare rock face. The most special opening is in July, as that one is held at 10 PM and is illuminated by artificial lights. Apparently it's quite a sight. Fun fact, Serio in Italian means serious, so no laughing please. This is a very serious waterfall and a very serious river. So yeah, Italy's tallest waterfall only appears for a grand total of 2.5 hours across any given year, and then it shuts off and silence falls across the valley again. FYI, if you ever look this up and you see claims online about how it's like the second tallest waterfall in Europe when it's open, that's bollocks. There are like 8 or 9 in Norway alone that are like double the height of this, and there are loads in Switzerland and Austria. Like, I don't know where that myth has come from, but it's not true. But yes, the complaints of the villagers have clearly paid off and then some. This was once a pleasant valley with a nice waterfall that people would stop by to have a look at. Nowadays, due to the peculiar way in which this waterfall operates, it's become a site that people will make a massive pilgrimage to just to see it in action, including me, who flew across the continent on a Ryanair flight just to be here. I realised in my original voiceover I just didn't really describe what this was like being here. It was like Glastonbury. They had overflow car parks. We were there at like 7, which is 4.5 hours before the waterfall opened, and it was just absolutely packed. We're ahead of the crowd here, which is why it doesn't look so busy. But yeah, it was pretty wild.
What am I talking about? Right, this is a much more strenuous hike than I was anticipating. It's like purely uphill like this for like an hour and a half. The tourist board said it was an easy hike, but yeah, no. Oh, I'm very sweaty, but I'm suffering from my art, if you can call this art.
So yeah, we came out of the woods, we continued up the hill, and we noticed that the waterfall is actually slightly open, as you can see here. It's not like, even when it's closed, quote unquote, it still like dribbles quite a lot. So it's not like the contrast between it being open and closed was not as extreme as I expected. But yeah, these are people arriving. There was like genuinely nowhere to stand after a certain time. So yeah, I just kind of stood up here and waited for ages for the waterfall to open, and then we heard this.
10-minute warning?
So yeah, that was a 10-minute warning, and then it was a pretty surreal sight, if I'm honest. It really, I don't know, quadrupled, quintupled, sextupled in volume and size. It was, the camera really doesn't do it justice, as is so often the case with this sort of thing. Maybe I should record it now. So that brings that. Oh God, that's a proper bandage.
Yeah.
That brings to the end our video about Cascate del Serio. So earlier when I said that I really suffer for my art because of that hike, that's how I really suffer. That the drone did that to me. Look at that. That's crazy. And now everybody's taking pity on me and giving me bandages and tissues and stuff. So yes, this is what I do for you people. This is my battlefield. I fixed it in the end. But yes, that's the end of the video. It's also, this is the last video of the year, so I'd like to say thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It's been an amazing year. And also thank you to my assistant here. She's called Eloise, and you might have seen her in my Q&A video when I referred to her as my girlfriend. And my girlfriend here is going to read it or ask me. But now she is my fiance. So yes, it's been a very good year. So thank you for everything, and I'm going to go wrap up my finger now. Unless you have anything to say.
I have no idea what to say.
Do you like the waterfall?
I love the waterfall. It's
Okay. Well, now we've got to hike back down into Valbondione, and hopefully I don't pass out from my bloody hand. So see you later.